Welcome back to the Retro Craptacular podcast, where each month we continue our search for the best bad movies on the planet Earth. I am your host, Aaron, and I am joined, as always, by Matt.
Good day to you.
Good morrow, sir.
How art thou?
Goodeth.
We're not going to be able to keep this up,
No.
so jump off the wagon quickly. Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
That you're goodeth.
How are you?
Doing okay. Doing all right. Feeling not bad. Things are bright.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not really. There's a literal storm raging outside as we speak.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's not getting picked up on the mics, but
I mean, if it is, it's just some ambiance.
yeah, it's just how we feel inside after watching what we just watched.
Yeah.
But
in fact, we should just insert a bed track of storm sounds to go with this episode.
yeah, and maybe like a baby crying.
Yeah, occasionally though. Not constant, but every once in a while.
Yeah. We watched the cinematic equivalent of a baby crying.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. But before we do that, let's thank our sponsor, Other Stuff We Watched.
Not
a real sponsor. Have you seen anything worth chatting about?
Honestly, lately I've been more of like on a rewatch binge. Maybe there's new stuff that's come up that I'm just not thinking about right now. But like rewatched the Umbrella Academy on Netflix.
You know, I never got into that show.
Oh no?
I tried.
No.
I tried, and I think I got about like halfway through season 1. And I don't know, it just didn't catch my attention.
Oh, I found it really interesting and really compelling. A lot of the characters are just assholes. But they play into it like it's on purpose. But then some of them are just super interesting. And season 3 is announced or filming or both or something like that. But it's also
both.
it's also kind of weird because, you know, season 1 and 2 of the Umbrella Academy starred Ellen Page.
Yeah.
And rewatching it now, the credits already changed.
They've changed
his
them,
name
yeah.
to Elliot.
Yeah.
But like how weird, because like his character Vanya is a cis woman.
I think they're just not going to address it.
Yeah.
I think they're just going to like put a wig on him and maybe fake boobs and.
But I wasn't gonna say like weird for me as an audience member. I was gonna say weird for him. Like,
yeah.
I wonder. I'm curious if there've been interviews or something I can go read about. How he feels about that.
I haven't seen any interviews with Elliot, but I have seen interviews with the showrunners, and I think they've basically just been like, "We're not going to address it. We're not going to do anything in universe to explain it away." So he's going to just be in drag essentially. I mean, not drag, but you know, they'll give him a wig and he'll dress the way Vanya dressed, in the first 2 seasons.
Which is to say, like,
yeah,
loose-fitting sweaters and pants anyway. So
yeah, so they'll either do that or he'll just. I'm assuming that's what they're gonna do. I don't think they're gonna just be like, Vanya's a man now.
Yeah, I wouldn't assume either.
But, you know, I mean, that's an actor's job, is to embody whatever character they're playing, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Cate Blanchett played Bob Dylan.
That's a good point.
So, you know, I don't think... I think a lot of people are making a big deal about it because it's, you know, it's a good article to get some clickbait on. Like, let's talk about the Vanya situation. It's like, well, maybe there's no situation to talk about.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, my heart just goes to how incredibly difficult it is to be trans.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't really give a shit about Vanya. I give a shit about Elliot.
Yeah, and I think he'll be fine. And if he didn't want to do it, he wouldn't do it. He'd, you know, unless he's contractually obligated, which we'll talk more about that later. But Also, you can get out of contractual obligations.
Right.
You
can steal the contract,
and,
burn it.
White out.
Yeah.
Crayon.
Just crayon it in.
Yep.
That's legally binding.
If you transition gender, you don't have to do this anymore. That's Article 11E on page 263 of the contract. But I don't know. I haven't actually seen. Now I'm curious as well. I would like to see if he's commented on anything to say how he feels about it. But again, I assume if he's doing it, that he's into it and they're taking an approach that he's comfortable with. And
yeah, well, I hope so.
Yeah, me too.
Well, what about you? You seen anything new? Anything juicy?
Yeah, I saw the Batman, but I don't want to talk about that until you've seen it.
Right.
I will say this: I quite enjoyed it, and I think I might go again this week.
Oh.
But last night I went and saw a fun movie that's in theaters right now, and if you get a chance to go see it, absolutely do it. If you're into horror movies, I saw X.
I've not heard of this.
So it's a new like horror slasher movie from Ty West, who a lot of people would probably know from he did House of the Devil and The Innkeepers. He was one of the directors on ABCs of Death. What else did he? Oh, he did In a Valley of Violence, which is a fun western. It's basically like Western John Wick, where Ethan Hawke plays a cowboy and some people kill his dog, and then he goes and shoots up an entire town because some people killed his dog.
Okay.
And John Travolta plays the sheriff in that town.
Oh, cute.
And he's got a real dumb looking mustache.
Oh, good.
It's excellent. I saw it at the Vancouver Film Festival a few years ago. It's awesome.
Nice.
Highly recommend checking out In a Valley of Violence. But X is about... takes place in the 1970s, and it stars a couple of people that you might know. Mia Goth, who was in some stuff I can't remember now.
Her.
Brittany Snow, who was in the Pitch Perfect movies. No, that's okay. And I think if you saw the new Scream movie, one of the lead girls from the new Scream movie was in this movie as well. And it's about a group of filmmakers in 1979 who rent out a boarding house on a Texas ranch in order to film a porno.
Oh.
Called The Farmer's Daughter, hence X. And then that catches the attention of the farmer and his wife, and things go awry.
Yikes.
I will say that. It is very greasy, very gory, kind of nasty in like all the best ways.
Okay.
It's very like it feels like a movie of the era. Like it, it's hard not to draw like Texas Chainsaw Massacre parallels to it.
Okay.
Just because it's set in Texas in the 70s. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's bloody good fun.
Bloody good fun, eh?
It's bloody good fun, isn't it? But yeah, no, it's like sleazy and raunchy and nasty and gory and totally owns it.
Sweet.
Like that's the way it's supposed to be. So yeah, I'd definitely recommend checking out X. Support original, low budget, independent in quotes. It's by A24. But support people doing cool creative stuff, more original stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I say. Ty West has made some movies that I quite enjoy. So
nice.
Yeah.
Keep that on my radar.
That's what I saw. I also saw, speaking of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh.
The new one on Netflix.
Oh, is the new one?
Yeah.
Oh. How was that?
Not good,
Oh. Okay.
but in a way, excellent.
Explain.
So, like, is it sloppily written? Yes.
Okay.
Are none of the characters any good? Yes.
All right.
I mean, the one, like, the lead character, she's okay. There's potential there. They try to do the Halloween thing where, like, you know, the new Halloween movie wiped away the continuity again. I won't get into the continuity of the Halloween franchise because we'll be here all day, but
Okay, yeah.
wipes away the continuity and just goes, all right, the first one happened and then this one happened. And Jamie Lee Curtis is back and she's old and she's got a gun and she's going to shoot Michael Myers. And this does the same thing where it's like Sally Hardesty is back and she's got a gun and she's going to shoot Leatherface. Except the actress that played the original Sally Hardesty died a couple years ago. And the actor that played the original Leatherface also passed away a few years ago. So with them both gone, they had to like recast. And like Leatherface, it doesn't matter because you're going to stick a leather face on him.
Oh, that's where he gets the name from.
Yeah. But like, you know, with Sally Hardesty, it matters a little bit because like these characters are supposed to have history and they don't. And so they try to make it seem meaningful when they reunite on screen together. But it's just not. And I don't blame the actress for that. She's doing a good job with what material she's given. I blame the material.
Okay, yeah.
But the movie does deliver what the title promises, and that is a massacre with a chainsaw in Texas.
Yeah.
So
those are all the boxes that really need ticking.
Yeah. And so like it ticks those boxes, and so me watching it, I'm like, I'm happy.
Oh, good.
I saw lots of people getting chainsawed to death, and that's all I wanted. It's more of a massacre than the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, really, because only a hand. I don't know, I'm trying to remember how many people get actually chainsawed in that movie. It's not a lot. There's a lot of like meat hooks and hammers and mallets and stuff getting heads bashed in and stuff like that. Whereas this one, you get Leatherface sawing through an entire bus full of influencers.
Okay.
And yeah, it's nasty. So like, it's a stupid movie with like no real point to it and doesn't have anything interesting to say. But like, for a movie called just Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it delivers on that premise.
All right.
In just droves. So much Texas Chainsaw Massacre happening. So those are things I watched. Anything else other than Umbrella Academy?
I mean, there's got to be something else we can talk about.
We can talk about the Obi-Wan trailer.
Oh, of course. We love talking about Star Wars on this podcast. And since last we met, the trailer for Obi-Wan came out. What's the actual name of the show? Is it just Obi-Wan?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just the name of the character.
Yeah.
Couldn't have done any better on that one.
They knew where to put their marketing.
The Book of Obi-Wan Kenobi. No, it's just the tome.
The tome. No. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I mean, there was like the Star Wars comic book series did like from the Journal of Obi-Wan Kenobi issues every now and then.
Oh, that's cool.
And I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind like from the Journal of Obi-Wan Kenobi or something like that. It kind of throws back to the original title of Star Wars, which is from the Journal of the Will, or The Adventures of Luke Starkiller from the Journal of the Wills, Chapter 1, The Star Wars.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That would have been a fun nod, but also totally unnecessary.
Thank God someone did a Sean Parker on that one, huh? Just drop the.
Drop the.
Just Star Wars. It's
yes.
cleaner. Drop the from the Journal of the Wills.
It was the right call.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan trailer came out. I mean, I was already on board. It was like, oh, you're doing a show about
Absolutely.
Obi-Wan? I get to see more Ewan McGregor.
And it's directed by Deborah Chow, who did two of the best episodes of The Mandalorian.
Hell yes.
So
I was already sold, and then the trailer drops, and I'm like, sweet, the trailer, and then I start watching it, and I'm like, I'm excited. And then Duel of the Fates drops.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
I got the chills. My bowels stirred.
Yeah. I clenched. Yeah.
Yep.
It was a really satisfying trailer.
Yeah.
No. Well, I was just going to say, it's interesting
okay, I'll go.
that it was so satisfying because there's barely any Obi-Wan in the trailer.
That's true.
There's a lot of the Inquisitors.
Which I also got jazzed about because I didn't think about that. I was just like, oh, it's Obi-Wan. I love Obi-Wan. That's all I'll watch. But like the Inquisitors, like from, watching Rebels and also like playing the video games, you get so much Inquisitor stuff. That like seeing them live on screen, I was actually like, oh shit, like the Inquisitors. I'm actually jazzed to get some live action Inquisitors.
It'll be interesting to see how they translate to live action.
Yeah.
We are going to get the helicopter spinny lightsaber.
Yep.
So
which I was like, haha, cool.
I didn't think we were going to get that, but they did it. So
they sure did. Fucking Jedi hunters and stuff, and Obi-Wan trying to survive.
Joel Edgerton is in there as Uncle Owen.
Yeah, that's right.
Which, it's interesting. I don't think you get Joel Edgerton these days.
I don't get him very often.
If you were casting him today, I mean, right? Like, if like, hey, Joel Edgerton, you want to play Uncle Owen? You think he'd be like, fucking no, I'm Joel Edgerton. Give me a real part to play. But because he got cast as Uncle Owen in 2002 or whatever.
Yeah, so long ago now.
Yeah. How was George Lucas supposed to know that he was going to grow up to be Joel Edgerton? I mean, it was already his name, so it's...
Just what I say.
He's just more famous now.
Yes. Yeah, I think we got that.
So, yeah, it's cool. A lot of people are upset about the fact that the Inquisitor doesn't have an unusually tall head.
People are always going to be upset about whatever they want, and it's like, shut up.
Which I think is fine, even though, like, we have seen that race before in episode 3, and they do have nice tall heads.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're,
He's a Powan.
Yeah.
From Utapau.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, he's the guy that goes and meets Obi-Wan on the platform, and he's like, Level 10. Thousands of battle droids. That's my...
It was good.
Powan impression.
I liked it.
Also, they could have got Jason Isaacs to play him because he did the voice in Rebels, but they didn't do that either.
Oh, Jason Isaacs.
But that might be because he's committed to Star Trek. Is he on Star Trek?
Is he on Star Trek?
Isn't he on Discovery? Or am I thinking of someone else?
I don't know. Discovery might have been the one where I watched one episode and was like, wow, the writing is atrocious. And then I gave up immediately.
Yeah, I watched 2 and then I gave up. It's fucking bad.
Wow, it was garbage, which made me so sad.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be good.
And then Picard was also bad. And
Picard was better than Discovery, though.
I didn't watch all of it. It was better than Discovery, but I didn't watch all of it. I've heard that season 2 is much better.
Oh, cool.
So far, but... Anyways, yeah, this is all I've wanted from Star Wars since they sold to Disney and they announced that they were doing like spin-off movies and stuff like that. I was like, give me an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. And now I get like 6 to 7 hours of Obi-Wan Kenobi movie.
Yeah.
I am very pleased. So,
yeah. Pressure's on to make that one good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we talked about the Book of Boba Fett and how it's bad, but it's also kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
But if they make Obi-Wan bad, it'll be like, I give up.
Yeah.
I will give up on Star Wars.
And again, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are nowhere near this one, so
That's right.
hopefully that means something.
We'll have to wait and find out. Wait, how long do we have to wait?
May 25th.
May 25th.
It's like 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was coming out sooner.
Nope.
Maybe something else is coming out sooner. Moon Knight's coming out sooner, isn't it?
In like 6 days? Something like that from the end, when the time we're recording this, 6-7 days, something like that. I can't remember what date actually.
Or maybe it's coming out on the 25th. Is it coming out in like 2 days?
No, it's coming on the 30th
30. Okay.
or the 31st, something like that. Like very end of the month.
31st.
31st.
Yeah.
So 7 days,
7 days.
I think. Or like next Wednesday. They all come out on a Wednesday, so
Oh, wait.
it's whatever day that is. It's next. Yeah, it's next Wednesday. It's a week from today, the 30th.
Exciting.
Moon Knight comes out. It's very exciting.
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah.
Because
Me
like,
too.
because like even if it's bad, like even if the writing is bad, I just want to see that ass. You know what I'm saying?
Ethan Hawke.
What?
No, I don't know. He's playing the bad guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I will be very upset if it's bad.
Yeah.
Moon Knight is a character that I love.
Oh, that's right. You've actually like
I
read the
love
comics
Moon
and
Knight.
stuff, right?
I am very into Moon Knight. So
Ah.
if they fuck this up, I will be mucho upsetto.
That's right. There's a lot of room to fuck Moon Knight up.
Yeah.
It's a very intense. It deals with mental illness.
Yeah.
Like they could really butcher it.
Yeah. So I'm just hoping they don't, but like also I don't know, man. That Hawkeye show was real bad.
It was, yeah. Well, it wasn't great, but it was cute.
I guess. I don't know. I did not like it very much.
Yeah.
Um
For me, it was like, this is a fun romp. Whatever. I
Yeah.
like Christmassy things.
and so I'm just yeah. They better just like, you've got 6 episodes, 8 episodes, whatever, use them. Don't waste our time with like that's my big problem with like a lot of like Netflix shows, is like they're too long. Each episode is like an hour, and it's like, does it need to be an hour? Could you do this more efficiently?
Right.
You know, and like some of like Falcon and the Winter Soldier felt that way, where I'm like,
Yeah.
you could use your time a lot better.
Could have been,
Hawkeye, I felt
shorter.
the same, where I was just like, what is the plot and can we get to it? And yeah, so I think Moon Knight's 6 episodes, so yeah, we'll see.
We will see.
But I have very, very high hopes, because I have not been enamored with Marvel as of late. Even going back and watching things that I like at the time enjoyed, like I rewatched Shang-Chi not that long ago, and I was like, you know what, they could have done this a lot better in certain parts. Mostly with like the retelling of his backstory. Like you get a bunch of flashbacks to like him as a kid and like training and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then like you get this one scene where he's like, and then I killed that man, but I didn't go home to my father. And it's like, you can't like show us that. You can't show us him killing the guy that he was sent to kill.
Oh.
You know, like you can't, I don't know. I feel like it would have been like a much more effective way to introduce that character.
I feel like
I don't know.
maybe I gotta go rewatch that again. I only saw it the one time in theaters.
Yeah.
I was jazzed.
I feel like Marvel pulls their punches too much. And like coming out of the Batman, which does not really pull any punches, I'm like, why can't we get Marvel movies that actually feel like they have a director behind them, you know?
Yeah, I remember we talked about that last time we talked about Shang-Chi.
Like, and like like every time I go see a Marvel movie, I'm like, I liked that. I think not so much with the Eternals, but I'm like, I like that. And then I go see a DC movie, like the Suicide Squad, and I'm like, oh, I loved that.
Oh, I still haven't seen the new Suicide Squad.
Why couldn't Marvel do something like that? Like, but
well, maybe Moon Knight will be them, dipping into doing more.
Yeah, I hope
dark,
so.
Intense stuff.
I hope so. It's not even that I need things to be dark and intense. It's just that I need things to not feel like they were like cookie cuttered. Like I don't want to feel like I'm watching a Mad Lib movie.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like watching the Batman, watching Suicide Squad, I'm like, I don't feel like that at all. Like there's shit happening in this movie that I never expected. And then watching like Marvel movies.
Yeah, some Marvel movies, they feel like a Marvel movie.
They feel like a Marvel movie. I feel like I'm like, okay, this is like, we're going into this part now.
Mm-hmm.
They all have the same part. And so I'm like, I don't know how much longer and I feel like I say this all the time. I'm like, I don't know how much longer I care about this. Like, Sam Raimi's coming in to do the new Doctor Strange. And I'm like,
oh, yeah.
This could be great if they let him be Sam Raimi. But like, it could also just be like
another Marvel movie.
They could waste all this potential setting up 3 other Marvel movies.
Yep.
And I don't know, maybe it's just too much to ask for a movie that pays itself off and doesn't expect you to have seen 25 other movies and also have to get you amped up for 4 other movies. Maybe that's too much to ask from Marvel at this point, but it's like,
that's kind of the downside of this empire that they've built, eh?
Yeah, they've literally painted themselves into a corner where it's like you can't go anywhere else from here because this is just what you've established yourself as. Like the Batman doesn't have any ties to any other DC movies. It's not beholden to anyone. They're like, this movie's going to take place on a different Earth. This is Earth 2 Batman. From the Ben Affleck Batman. That's a Earth 1 Batman, whatever. So it's like, they're not afraid to be like, oh, we have a director in Matt Reeves who's like a really talented filmmaker and has like a really specific vision for what he wants this Batman movie to be. Let's let him make it.
Yeah. And
you don't want to do it with Ben Affleck? That's fine. Who do you want to cast? Robert Pattinson? Great. Do it. Like, they trust the filmmaker to see through their vision, whereas like I feel like on Marvel movies there's just someone standing over the director's shoulder and the writer's shoulder like the whole time, being like, keeping an eye on things, making sure.
It's helicopter parenting is what it is.
It is. It's helicopter filmmaking. Like, I'm sure if you get hired to write a Marvel movie, I'm sure they send you a thing of bullet points where like, these are all the things that you need to put in this movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know. If Doctor Strange comes out and is like not good, and if Moon Knight doesn't deliver what I wanted to deliver, I might just sort of step away from Marvel.
Well, we will update our listeners when that happens.
Because I don't know what else they have coming out that I care about. Like, Miss Marvel is cool, I guess. Do I want to see Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantum Mania? Fuck no.
Oh, they're doing more Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Fuck no. Yeah. It's the most boring fucking Marvel movies of all time. Like, that second one sucked so much. I don't know.
I honestly don't remember it anymore. I just remember the one part that ties into Endgame.
Yeah. I feel like they've established themselves at this point with this huge brand, this huge empire. They've got brand loyalty to a certain point. I feel like now is the time to like branch out a little bit. And like they say that they are with things like Moon Knight and stuff like that. They say that they're branching out, but it's like, are you though?
Well, we'll have to wait and find out.
We will see next Wednesday, I guess. But I don't know. I guess maybe I'm just jaded.
I mean, you are that.
I am that.
That is 100% true. I'm less jaded. I can be like, Hawkeye was fun. It's cute.
I just like I don't know what like watching it. I don't know what it did for me. You know, like I don't feel like
on the inside.
yeah, like I just I felt no emotions towards what was happening in this story. Whereas something like WandaVision, I felt all the emotions.
Oh, WandaVision was so good. They started out strong.
They
with their
did.
TV series.
They really did.
I'm interested to rewatch that.
It's the only thing that I've like been genuinely interested in, like them doing. I mean, other than Shang-Chi, I was excited for Shang-Chi, but like I don't know, that Black Widow movie sucked. Like it started out promising, and there were interesting characters in it, and like it has that like. This is the thing with the Marvel movies, like it has this like air of like fun and entertaining when you're watching it for the first time, and you're like, you know what, actually that was fun. Maybe they should, yeah, I'd like the Black Widow movie, and then you think about it, it's like. Wait a minute, they did nothing to establish this, like, evil Russian guy? The whole, like, the only time you see him is
Oh, yeah.
at the end. There's, like, no scenes with him and Natasha before this. There's nothing...
There's totally a term. There's a term for that, isn't there? What's it called?
Stupid?
No, like refrigerator logic, or something like that. I think it was coined by like Alfred Hitchcock or something like that.
Explain.
Where like in the moment you don't question it. When he was talking about movies, like
yeah.
in the moment you don't question the logic behind the plot holes, and so it doesn't matter. It only matters later when you're. And I think Alfred Hitchcock said something along those lines, when you're taking cold chicken out of the fridge. Because that's where his mind went.
Right.
Only then do you think back and go, "Hey, wait a second," you know. And so I think
Yeah.
refrigerator logic, I think, is a term now.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah. I think that's very apt of, like, what my issue with the Marvel movies is. Because, like, honestly, with the exception of the Eternals, again, because, like, when I was done watching the Eternals, I'm like, I don't know how I felt about that. That felt kind of dumb. Was it bad? Maybe it was bad. But like everything else, I was like, Black Widow's fun. She did the superhero landing. She did the flippy, spinny, leg grabby, neck kick thing.
Well described.
Grabs you with the thighs and throws you. She did all that. She gets a vest. We find out how she gets that vest.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I liked David Harbour in that movie. I liked Yelena.
Oh my gosh, David Harbour was great.
Yeah, like I liked the whole family dynamic, right? Like I thought that was
fun.
great, but it's just like.
But then you go home and you take your cold chicken out of the fridge.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait a minute. So, like, the entire point of this was just explained by Ray Winston in, like, a 20-minute scene at the end, where he's just like, this is how I do my Black Widow stuff. I'm a bad guy. I'm a really cockney man, but I do a bad Russian accent. You see, now there's the pheromone thing where you can't kill me because I smell so good. And it's like, that's fucked. So... Yeah,
Ooh, I bet the listeners enjoyed that noise.
Yeah, and then
Same with one more for the road.
Same with Shang-Chi, where I'm like watching. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, Tony Leung's in this movie. This is great, and like, Awkwafina's so funny, and
she's so good.
Like Simu Liu's in it, and I love him.
Just side note, I recently also rewatched Raya and the Last Dragon, and Awkwafina slays me.
Yeah, she's so good.
She's hilarious. She's fantastic.
You know, and I'm like, yeah, this is great. And then it's like, oh, and again, Shang-Chi is one that I don't have like as big of a problem with. I'm just like, maybe if they weren't so like obsessed with being like so sanitized, like maybe you could show Shang-Chi killing someone when he's a teenager. Like he's being trained to be an assassin.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Why are you dancing around
Show
this?
the brutality.
Yeah. Create some sympathy instead of just having the character tell us about it in one scene. You showed us everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the one thing. Overall, I think I enjoyed Shang-Chi a bit. You know, did you need Ben Kingsley in that movie? Probably not. He was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Did he add anything? Not really. So, yeah, that's my kind of feelings on Marvel. If they fuck up Moon Knight, if they fuck up Doctor Strange too,
you're outsies.
I think I'm outsies.
Hey, fair. Totally get it.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man is the one movie that I was like genuinely enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're gonna make more of those.
Yeah, they will. And that one, I think I felt genuine emotions in that movie outside of just nostalgia. Like when Aunt May dies, spoilers.
Whoops.
Like you actually feel sadness.
Oh gosh, yeah. And that was a well-written scene too.
Yeah, and it was earned, right?
Yeah.
Like we have been with Aunt May for the past 2 movies already. We like her. We like this version of Aunt May.
Mm-hmm.
We know what her relationship with Peter is like. We know their dynamic. So when she dies, we know how brutal that is for.
And they also,
Yeah.
they really twist the knife with that scene, hey? When
Yeah.
she gives the line, and we know the goblin's there, and then we're like, oh shit, she's gonna die, and then she gets hit by the glider, but then she like gets back up, and
Yeah.
there's like that little glimmer of hope in you that's like, oh, well maybe she's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe she's all right. And then they just twist that knife as she goes down. Oh, yeah. I cried so many times in the theater.
Yeah. It was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Who knows? Maybe they'll just like keep dropping things that are like just good enough to get me to be like, well, the last couple of things weren't that great, but that one was good. I'll go back for that. And then I'm disappointed. And then this one's all right. And,
And they're like, biscotti, caramel cowboy cookie, biscotti.
Now we're talking. Yeah. Also, what's up? What do you got against biscotti?
Biscotti's not great. Do you like biscotti?
Yeah, dude, my mom makes a bitchin' biscotti.
Oh, well, maybe I've never had your mom's biscotti.
Yeah.
Maybe it's also been like a decade since I had biscotti. But I seem to recall biscotti just being like really dry and hard, and it cuts the roof of your mouth.
Oh, yeah, it's like super crunchy, but like you gotta
And it's
like
not even sweet.
you gotta like oh no, my mom's is sweet.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta like dip it in coffee or something, or like a hot chocolate, or
Well, one of these days I'm gonna have to dip your mom's sweet biscotti.
Yeah, I'll see if she can make a gluten-free
Does
version.
she listen to this?
Who's to say?
Well,
Hi, Mom.
if I get a text later.
All right, well, let's fucking.
We have delayed long enough.
Speaking of Marvel movies that disappoint us,
Ayo!
this month we watched Elektra.
For centuries, those with extraordinary powers have waged a secret war for supremacy. Now, in between good and evil, stands a warrior.
Her name's Elektra.
Like the tragedy. Her parents must have had a sense of humor.
Not really.
She has mastered the skills of the past. She can read the shadows of the future.
I see what's gonna happen before it happens. She's my friend.
She doesn't really know who you are.
This January,
It's about her, isn't it?
She was a prodigy from 5 years old.
You'll be better than I am very soon.
one generation must protect the next.
War's just begun.
I'm not a good person to get involved with.
Wake me up.
Wake me up and
I can't wake up.
wake me up and
Save me!
The early 2000s were great, weren't they?
Nope.
For fashion and for music and yeah.
Well, they will be in a decade or so. I'm sure that's how things work.
I mean, we're already like 20 years out from the early 2000s, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
No, they suck.
The day I start seeing teenage girls wearing giant oversized belts for no reason and like 5 tank tops layered on top of each other, I'll be like, oh no,
That will not surprise me at all.
I'm old now.
Yeah, well.
But Elektra,
Elektra.
if you listened all the way to the end of last episode, you know that I was not excited to watch this.
Mm-mm.
And I tried to come up with any excuse not to watch it. I was like, well, International Women's Day is in March. That's not why I picked Elektra, by the way, in the first place. That was just a coincidence.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe we could do... We had talked about, like, picking a bunch of movies and, like, rolling a dice, and so I'm like, maybe I could pick a bunch of, like, female-fronted superhero movies that all bombed. Like, Elektra and Catwoman and Supergirl and Tank Girl and Aeon Flux and...
Oh, yeah.
Another one. We already did Ultraviolet. Fuck. Anyways,
Boy, did we ever.
chuck a Resident Evil movie on there. Why not? But then I was like, is that any way to celebrate women? No.
No.
Like, all right, happy International Women's Day. Let's celebrate all of your failures.
Whoops.
Yeah, no, doesn't work, right? So then I thought, oh, maybe we could watch that Catwoman movie because that's real shit, and that ties into the Batman. And then there's like, you know, a concurrent thing to do, but like trying to find a way to watch that movie these days, not easy. It's not out there anywhere, even on Pirate Bay. It's not out. Nobody's bothered to pirate that movie because nobody would be like, no one wants this.
That's telling.
Yeah. So I ultimately looked at the runtime for Catwoman, looked at the runtime for Elektra, saw that Elektra was like 7 minutes shorter, and went, let's just stick with the original plan. We'll watch Elektra. And then I can get this DVD off my shelf and out of my life.
Forever.
I might just chuck it at some kids at the school across the street from me at recess tomorrow. Just like, hey, kid, just see if I can just ping a kid while he's on the swing or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I really hope your mom doesn't listen to our podcast.
Or the police.
The police don't listen to our podcast.
That you know of.
That I know of.
I mean,
Oh, boy.
we haven't been arrested yet.
Well, this also isn't live.
That's true. That's true. I'm just waiting for the SWAT team to like come crashing in through the window behind you and
So impractical. Just, like, kick over all of my
Get on the
computer
ground.
desk.
you could have just knocked on the door. We would have answered
My
it.
front door is mostly glass. It would have
Yeah.
been easy to get in that way.
That was always like one of my first year screenwriting professor always had this thing where he's like, every year someone writes a screenplay where there's just a guy doing a normal thing and then a SWAT team comes bursting in through the door or like through the windows or both. And it's always unprovoked and never explained. And so my one rule is no SWAT team. No SWAT team comes bursting in. It's not an interesting way to open your movie.
Wow.
It's like case in point, and then he like played that scene from Resident Evil where like Alice wakes up in the house all alone, and then the SWAT team comes bursting in. They're like, "We got to go down to the hive." And she's like, "What's going on?" It's like, "See, this is stupid. You have no idea what's happening. There's no context for this."
It was stupid. That's true.
It was stupid. So
It's funny that the problem was that prevalent that had to be made a rule in his classroom.
right?
Reminds me of Community with like the pottery professor.
No ghosting.
Yeah.
Every year, girl on guy, guy on girl, the hilarious guy on guy.
It's a good scene.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the overall lesson there was like, don't just have random things happen in an attempt to make your screenplay more interesting. It's just a sign that you have a bad screenplay.
Yep.
If you like, you know, because I think it was also from the era of like, it's like the post-Scream era where it's like, we got to subvert the audience's expectations. No one's expecting the SWAT team to burst in on Handsome John. You know as Handsome John because you introduced him as John, late 20s, handsome. Sits alone in his fancy apartment drinking whiskey. Suddenly the SWAT team bursts in. It's like, I'm not surprised and I'm not interested and I'm throwing your screenplay away.
Yeah, that's right.
How did we get onto the SWAT team?
Bad screenplays, I think.
Yeah. So Elektra is what we watched. And
Yeah, so we've both seen Ben Affleck's Daredevil.
yeah.
And
Now, Ben Affleck's Daredevil was the shit. Okay?
we both loved it when we were kids.
I watched, in many ways, that was like my superhero movie. More so than Spider-Man, more so than the original X-Men. It came out a few years before that, and I also watched the shit out of the original X-Men when it came out.
yeah.
Like, I destroyed that VHS tape.
Love it.
Just watch it over and over again. So, like, but other than that, like,
Which
this
literally destroys it over time.
Yeah.
It was a bad medium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also the best.
The best.
Check out our shop, Retro Shoptacular Etsy. So I like watched the crap out of Daredevil. Loved it. It was like one of the first DVDs that I owned.
Ooh.
Still have it.
Ooh.
I also have
the menu's great.
Oh, it's awesome. It's like his like Daredevil vision.
Oh.
And then I think everything is in Braille, and you have to like move the cursor over to reveal what.
Oh,
so, like,
that's
play.
cute.
Yeah, it says play movie, and then you move over one. It's like scene selection. It goes like, honestly, if you find that DVD at a thrift shop, pick it up because the second disc has a great documentary on it about like the history of the character, like in comics and stuff like that. It's like almost like I think it's over an hour long. Like it's great. This is from the era when like special features were an important thing that people cared about because it was like a selling feature for the DVD.
Oh yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So, if you find it at a thrift shop for $2 and it's in good shape, pick it up. You don't need to watch the movie, but like watch that The Man Without Fear documentary.
Yeah, it used to be such a big thing.
Yeah.
Special features and shit. You know, like I was just like hanging out with some family, and my dad had bought the Blu-ray for the new Dune. And my family was jazzed to be like, ooh, we got to watch the special features. And I was like, cool, yeah. I was saying like, oh, I actually watched some cool stuff about the sound design because I wasn't really into that. And then we go and we watch the special features, and it's the thing that I already watched. I was like, oh, yeah, I watched this on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. You can watch it. And also,
the
like,
day after I saw it in theaters.
I also have the Blu-ray for Dune, and you can watch it all in like an afternoon.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty. You can just watch all the special features.
Yeah.
Not a lot on there. That is one of the things I like though about. I think I've talked about the Warner Brothers YouTube channel.
Oh yeah,
before.
you have. Yeah.
They are doing a good job of carrying on special features into the digital age. Because like there's, for all the lacking of features that might be on the disc, like there is a Nolan Batman trilogy retrospective thing that's like an hour and a half. You can watch that for free on their YouTube channel. They've got, I'd say like 25 minutes is kind of like the shortest for some of their stuff, other than like the little promotional featurettes and stuff they put up. But they'll be like, here's a making of the Joker movie. It's like 35 minutes long. So, stuff like that where I'm like, okay, if discs have to go, which like I will keep buying them until they literally shut down the factories, and then I will go on eBay and I will buy all the ones I don't have. If discs has to go, this is the new standard.
Yeah,
like I really like that Warner Brothers has been, or not Warner Brothers, Disney has been doing like stuff like that on Disney Plus. Like they've been doing like
right.
Once The Mandalorian finishes, like here's the making of season 2, and like
Yeah.
I don't know if they did one for Book of Boba Fett yet.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing.
I don't know.
Maybe it's because
No one cares.
it was bad.
It was just terrible, yeah. They probably did it all the same way that they did The Mandalorian anyway.
Yeah, except they didn't think about it. Yeah. They just like, what if the Mandalorian shows up in episode 5 and we just need to get there? Just write some crap about him having meetings.
Yeah.
Listen to our Patreon bonus episode where we give our thoughts on the Book of Boba Fett. Spoiler alert, we didn't like it. I think it's like $3 a month. It's a good deal. It's like cheaper than a coffee at Starbucks.
I've spent a lot more on a lot worse.
Yeah. Obviously. It's like almost the price of like a liter of gas.
Ugh.
Anyways, the world is terrible. Or it's all gonna be over soon.
So this is like the second or third time that we've stopped talking about Elektra.
Yeah. So Elektra is a spin-off of Daredevil. Daredevil was the shit. I liked that movie a lot.
I liked it.
I liked it a lot in it. Ben Affleck, he's a guy.
He is a guy.
Yeah.
And he's
has one of the best jokes in any comic book movie, where Ben Affleck's like, her name's Elektra Nachos, and then Jon Favreau is playing Foggy Nelson's like, yeah, well, she sounds like a Mexican appetizer. And I'm like, yeah, I want to go to a restaurant and order Elektra Nachos. That sounds delicious.
I wonder if any restaurants did that. I wonder if
Like
if they'd legally be allowed to.
Electric nachos? What is that? Are they gonna get a zap every time I bite into a chip?
I just imagine that it's like
They just hooked a car battery up to a metal tray. Like, here's your nachos, fucker.
I was thinking more like they used like the lime flavored chips.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then had like jalapeno, so it was just like really zesty and
Yeah.
spicy or something.
Here's your electrified metal tray of nachos. If you survive eating it, they're free.
Every time you pick up a nacho, you're getting like
It's like,
electrocuted.
just like sweating like crazy. But yeah, like, you know, I'm sure that movie doesn't hold up. I know the director's cut has been like better received. But this movie literally killed the idea of having a female-led superhero movie for like a decade.
Yeah, that long, eh?
Over a decade. I mean, like, what? Wonder Woman was the first good one in so long.
Yeah, and that wasn't really that long ago. all
2017.
things considered. Yeah. Oh, jeez.
And, you know, we've had some since that have been decent. You know, I'd say Wonder Woman was great.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Marvel was decent. Black Widow was Wonder
Harley
Woman,
Quinn, Birds of Prey
excellent.
was
Very
fantastic.
good. Yes. Yeah, so, you know, now we've had some, but it was this was like the one that's like, can't have a woman lead a superhero movie. It like shut that idea down in Hollywood for like 12
But like,
years.
what did that have to do with the movie being bad? It was poorly written.
It was poorly written. They shot it in like 4 weeks when that Jennifer Garner had off in between shooting Alias. And like that's how much time you have, so whatever you can shoot in that amount of time, that's what you get. It killed Rob Bowman's feature directing career.
Right.
That dude directed one of my favorite movies of all time, Reign of Fire, top 10 movie.
Right.
So good. Everyone check it out. I will not shut up about this.
Okay, I was about to ask.
No, I will go. I was on Let's Watch That podcast talking about it. The movie fucking whips ass.
Good to know.
Go see it. You want to see Matthew McConaughey jump shirtless into a dragon's mouth with a battle axe?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, you do. So fucking good. This movie, not.
Not
And
so much.
I don't even know if I blame the director for it. I mean, like, it wasn't good. It wasn't a good movie.
No.
I didn't enjoy my time watching it. I don't
No.
know that it was poorly directed though. I mean, it kind of was.
I think everything about it was bad.
It was
except the music.
It was poorly written.
The music was craptacular.
Jennifer Garner didn't want to do it, but literally only did it due to contractual obligations.
Yeah.
That probably just would have been like, look, it's going to be too expensive to get out of doing this. Just do it, get paid, leave, go back and do Alias. Like,
Yeah, and like her character is supposed to have a lot of like emotional turmoil kind of stuff going on, which is across her face the entire time. But I just read it as Jennifer Garner really not wanting to be there.
yeah.
And that was the character that I connected with the most, was Jennifer Garner.
The
not wanting
actress
to be there.
Jennifer Garner, who didn't want to be on set the whole time.
And I was like, I get it.
yeah.
I also don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really comes across. I don't know where to start. I mean, this kind of like killed her career too. Like, she went from, like, having the potential to be a leading woman in a lot of stuff to, like, pretty much disappearing until Juno.
Oh, Juno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so I don't.
Yeah, are we gonna recap this movie? Are we gonna?
What's the point? Like, so.
I can see now why you really didn't want to do this movie.
Yeah, so like I saw this, I think back in the theater when it came out, and I had not seen it since.
I had never seen it. I never ended up watching the Elektra movie.
But when you're at the thrift store and you find the DVD for like $2, you're like, oh, this would be perfect for the podcast. We should definitely do this. And then you leave it on your shelf for like another 2 years. Because you're like, I don't want to do that. But it just... So... The movie picks up where Daredevil left off. Not really, though.
No.
Elektra dies in that movie.
Yeah, she dies in Daredevil, and it was very moving.
Didn't need to happen. Probably could have waited for a sequel. That's the other thing. This movie killed off any potential for a Daredevil sequel, because I think Daredevil like did okay at the box office.
Okay, yeah.
Critically, not so well, but like it made enough money that they were talking about doing a sequel. And then Elektra did bad, and they were like, no Daredevil 2, which like, how does that make any sense?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
No, not really.
So, you know, whatever. I would have liked to have seen Daredevil 2 with Ben Affleck at the time.
At the time, yeah. Now I so don't care that there wasn't a sequel.
Now I have a morbid curiosity about like, what would that have been like?
Oh.
If there was a script or anything, I'd be curious to read that.
Yeah, who would they bring in?
I don't know.
Villains.
That's just it. They did Bullseye, they did Kingpin, they did Elektra, they did the death of Elektra. The Owl? Are they gonna bring in the Owl? Like, I don't know. Cross it over with the Thomas Jane Punisher?
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Different studios, maybe? Maybe not. I can't remember.
I don't know either. But yeah, so it doesn't like there's no reference to Daredevil at all in this movie.
No, you see her in like the outfit that she wears in Daredevil. She's in an ambulance. They're trying to resuscitate her. That shot is like literally 2 seconds.
Yep.
And then Stick. I guess you could have brought in Stick. If this had done well, maybe Terrence Stamp would have shown up in.
Oh yeah.
In Daredevil 2, and then you bring in the Hand. Maybe that's like where that would have gone.
Yeah, I guess so.
I suppose. Because
like this movie does introduce the Hand and all that stuff. Like the actual intro to the movie is about the legend of the weapon.
Yeah, the Black Sky.
The Black Sky.
It's implied it's the Black Sky.
They never say Black Sky.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you gotta get like the legend of the Hand that's introduced in this movie. Stick shows up, played by Terrence Stamp. He's like Elektra's teacher. So, he's the one that brings her back to life because he has the magical kung fu power of whatever it's called.
Yeah, I definitely forget what that was called, unfortunately. But even then, like the movie starts with just it's Elektra.
I'm gonna look it up.
And she's killing a bunch of people.
Yeah.
She's killing
Kimaguri. That's his kung fu magical power that he has, that he teaches his students, and they can see the future.
You're gonna manipulate time?
Sort of, yeah.
That's how they move fast, I guess?
think so. You can kind of manipulate time a little bit. Yeah. Manipulate time a little bit, and maybe that's why the chase scene, if they can all do Kimaguri, then maybe there's like no point to it, or maybe they all are doing it and we just don't notice.
I don't know.
Who knows? Doesn't make sense.
Not explained.
Not explained, not important. So that should be a regular feature segment on this show. Not explained, not important.
There should be a button for that.
Yeah. Here's all the things in the movie that were not explained but are ultimately not important. So she is brought back to life. This whole her coming back to life thing is literally like 15 seconds. And it's after the intro to the movie, which is a guy sitting in a chair telling his bodyguard, there's a woman coming and she's going to kill all of us, and she's going to kill me and she's going to kill you, and I didn't tell you about her when, because I didn't think you'd take the job if you knew, and blah, 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 and anyways, where's all your guards now? And he's like looking at his mom, he's like, oh shit, they're not here, and then, she shows up and just kills them.
Yep.
And she's like, death's not so bad. I died once, and then like throws her sai through the guy's back, and he dies, and then she's scrubbing her DNA from
Next time we see
her
her,
apartment.
she's washing the floor.
And then her handler, manager, booking agent guy shows up and he's like, why are you doing this? Why you always got to do this, E? And she's like, I don't want my DNA on anything. He's like, DNA, right, cool. So you only got paid to kill one guy, but you killed a lot of people. What's with that? And she's like, I had to. She's like, did you though? And she's like, fuck you, and takes her shit and goes. And he's like, wait.
The fuck you was just a look.
It's just a look, yeah.
But it's just a look from Jennifer Garner that I read as Jennifer Garner really not wanting to be there. So
it's
I was
it's very PG-13, even though I read a quote from the director saying that it was 12 frames away from being an R-rated movie, which I do not believe in any way, because this is like
frames.
This is like Saturday afternoon TV shit.
Yeah.
Level of violence. Like, there is nothing in this there's barely any blood in this.
Yeah, like she kills that one guy at the start, and then basically everyone else that dies in this movie just turns into noxious gas.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is like maybe there was like one scene where at the beginning where she killed like either the bodyguard or the guy, and there was like way more blood, or when McCabe, her handler, manager, booking agent guy, he gets killed, and it just kind of cuts to black as the guy swings a sword at him. Maybe he got like freaking like bifurcated or something like that, and all the blood and guts went everywhere, and they were like, can't have that, R rating. And he's like, oh, let's cut to black. And then they're like, perfect, PG-13, most inoffensive movie of all time.
Nailed it.
Who knows? Probably not. Probably neither of those things.
Yeah.
Also, probably a lie from the director, honestly. So yeah, she like, then we get like this, like, again, it's like 30 seconds max flashback of her learning at Stick's academy and getting brought back to life, and then learning from Stick, and then him being like, you're the most talented, but you're not the best. You're too angry. I can't teach you. You should go. And she becomes a contract killer.
Yeah.
But
boy, that all happened way too fast.
It happens so fast. And then, like, the whole setup for this movie, like, you know, she gets on a boat, she goes to do her next job. It's in Vancouver.
Yay.
Obviously. So she's, like, on a ferry, and she's in this house, and it's probably the same house that they shot Battlestar Galactica in.
I hope so.
It feels like it.
It did.
It totally feels like freaking Baltar's.
It does very much so,
from the miniseries. So, you know, and like all this, then she's having nightmares about like a demon killing her mom when she's a kid, and like her dad making her tread water. Like she goes swimming, and then she has like a flashback to like her dad making her tread water without using her hands, and like all this like childhood trauma stuff going on. It's like, does she have amnesia?
Yeah, it seemed like she was having, like she was confused by her childhood memories or something.
It's never explained.
But also, she just really didn't want to be there. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, but like this, whether or not she wanted to be there, the script doesn't do anything to, you know, inform us of what's going on. Yeah, it's like there's no setup. There's no. She's just kind of like sad and freaking out in this house a little bit, and then, you know, this girl breaks into the house that she's renting and tries to steal a necklace, and then she catches her, and then her name's Abby, and then Abby invites her to dinner to hang out with her hot dad.
Yep.
And then
for Christmas dinner. Surprise, it's Christmas.
Yeah. No indication.
Nope.
Not really important though in the end. So it's like Christmas dinner, and Abby lied to her to get her there, saying like, "Oh, there's gonna be a bunch of people there. Just come on by." And it's just the three of them. It's super awkward.
Well, no, she didn't lie that there was gonna be a bunch of people there.
Did she?
No, she because like she steals a thing and then Elektra catches her and then tells her to get out, and she's all like, "Ooh, Elektra is cool," and then she leaves, and then the dad comes by the house, and is like, "Hey, have you seen a girl, 13-year-old, blonde hair?" And she's like, "Yeah, she broke into my house," and he was like, "Ah, did she really? That's embarrassing. That's my daughter. Anyway, my name's." Bland name, and he holds out a hand, and she doesn't shake it.
It was Mark Miller.
Mark Miller, there we go.
Yeah, which is funny because I don't know if they did this on purpose, but like Mark Miller is a comic book writer who wrote like Kick-Ass and Kingsman and like Jupiter's Legacy.
Oh,
and,
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know if that was on purpose,
Weird.
but yeah,
But yeah, so she,
not important. That's the only reason I remembered it, because I'm like, Mark Miller, that's funny.
yeah,
It's
she
like
like
naming your character Stan Lee.
that would be odd.
Yeah.
But she doesn't shake his hand, and then he's like, "Okay, bye," and then leaves.
No Stan Lee cameo in this movie.
Oh yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
I mean, good for him.
Yep.
Yeah. He, I'm sure when he was on his deathbed, one of the last things that went through his mind was, "You dodged Elektra. Good job."
Yikes.
And you know what? Good. His legacy is untarnished because of it.
R.I.P. Stanley.
Rest easy, Stan. Good innings, kid. You did good. So
Elektra.
oh god, we're still talking about this.
Yeah, Abby comes back and is like, "Hey, come have Christmas dinner with me and my dad. It's always just me and him, and I get so bored. He sent me to come invite you
Right, that's what happened.
to say sorry."
I was not paying attention.
Yeah, well, clearly. Not that I blame you. So then she shows up, and the dad's like, "Oh, hey, stranger that I met once that didn't shake my hand. Why are you at my Christmas dinner with my daughter?" And Abby's like, "Oops. Did I not tell you? I'm a poorly written 13-year-old girl."
Yes, she is. Everyone's poorly written in this movie, though.
Yes.
No one has any wants
Personality?
or needs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or personality.
Yeah.
What does Elektra want? Who knows?
It's a good question.
What does she need
To get a life.
to get a life, I guess? Yeah, kinda. I don't know.
Yeah, so then, and then she has dinner with them, and that's weird. And then later, like, Abby gets tucked in, and she's drinking whiskey on this stranger's front porch, and he comes out with maybe it was wine. And
It was wine.
and then like, there's like, I don't know, some personal talk or something.
Poorly written romantic dialogue.
Yeah, which was not romantic at all, and had
Yeah.
just a sliver of vulnerability, and then Lecter's like, "I gotta go,"
Yeah.
and then like puts down her glass, and he looks away for a moment, and then she's gone.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, and then she gets the facts with the
target.
deets. And it's surprise surprise, the little girl and her dad.
Gots to kill them.
And all she's got to do is assemble her compound bow with the sniper scope on it and just snipe them with the bow. And then the movie could have been over.
Oh, should have killed the kid. Should have killed the kid.
But for some reason, she got real sad and contemplative about killing this kid who broke into her house and she didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy who she literally had a glass of wine with once.
Yep.
And who, even in, like, movie standards, is not that handsome.
No.
It's, like, medium handsome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, could probably get, like, a Just for Men commercial someday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So
she has no reason
weird thing to say, but it was also very accurate.
Yeah.
So yeah, no reason at all to not. She's a hired assassin for some reason after being kicked out of the Academy of Stick.
Yeah,
So,
because I think she had, like, nothing else she was good at.
I guess.
I don't know. Could have been, like, a karate teacher.
Yeah.
You know? Could have done some modeling, maybe.
I mean, could have.
I think from what I remember from Daredevil, she's rich.
Yeah, I thought I remembered her being rich too. Like, her parents are dead, but she's rich.
Could have just been a trust fund baby.
Yeah.
Maybe all the money disappeared when she died,
Oh,
technically.
yeah. That's probably it.
They
dead.
burned it. The government just burned it.
Which I assumed is why she didn't want her DNA anywhere, because she's supposed to be dead.
Yeah.
But also, that was not explained.
No.
But also, not important.
Yeah. Not explained. Not important. So
she's like, I'm not going to kill this man and this annoying girl. But the handler is like, well, they'll just send someone else.
Yeah.
Like, those two are already dead.
Yeah.
So, like, you can do it and get paid.
Oh yeah,
someone else can
she's
do
been
it and get paid.
hired like by like way more money than she normally gets hired.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's making me like, they specifically requested you. They want you. You're the best. You know, they've offered quite a bit of money to you to do this bit. So go do the I'm a heartless killer woman bit, and then get your money, and then scrub all your DNA out of the house.
Yep.
So, and by the way, when she's scrubbing her DNA out of the house, she just like has her hair tied back in like a loose ponytail, and has some like rubber gloves for like doing the dishes. Like, she's not like, you know, covering her mouth with anything. She's not in like a suit. Like, you could go to the hardware store and get one of those like suits for doing like insulation and stuff, like when you got to go up into the attics and you don't want to get like all itchy.
Yeah.
Or you're painting, you like get something like that.
But they never would have. But like.
But then you couldn't see her low-rise jeans and oversized belt buckle.
Yep.
Yeah.
This movie was basically made for people that just wanted to see Elektra in outfits.
Yeah, midriff, just a little bit of midriff. Low-rise bell-bottom jeans.
Yep.
And flares. I guess they're more flares than bell-bottoms.
That's true.
Yeah.
Good distinction. Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. Early 2000s. That's when this came out.
Boy, did it ever.
Yeah. So
she learns that they're gonna die anyway, and then so what does she do? She goes over there to protect them.
Yeah.
From ninjas.
Yeah, because like she's showing up and she's like, hey, I need to talk to you for a second, and then like there's already ninjas there on the roof.
Yeah.
And
then she stabs one through the roof and kills him, and he lights up and turns into yellow fog.
Yeah.
And dissipates.
Yeah,
Boy, was that ever not explained.
No, all of the hand members turn into this yellowish green smoke and have like a real bright light that comes out of them when they die, and it looks like 2004 TV VFX.
Absolutely.
It is so bad.
Ooh, yeah.
And mind you, the budget for this movie was only like $40 million. You know, in 2004 money. So maybe that's like $60 million today. I don't know what the inflation rate is, but still, like, couldn't make this movie for less than $100 million. 150 probably today.
Yeah.
So I guess like they did good-ish with what they had, kind of.
But not really.
But also not really, because like the towels flying around at the end look real bad.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, she just like has like a crisis of conscience and decides she's gonna protect these people that she barely knows, for reasons
that probably exist.
Maybe, yeah.
Who knows?
But like, do we need to know them? No.
Apparently not.
No, it would just make the movie longer. And we just need to get out of it as fast as we can.
Yep.
So she goes to find Stick, and she's like, he's hustling pool, which is so funny. It's like maybe the only good scene in the movie, where he's like a blind guy, and he's just like, these are going to be all my shots. And he's like, you don't need to call all your shots, Grandpa, just the first one. He's like, that was the first one. And like sinks like 4 balls in one shot.
Yep.
And then sinks the 8th ball.
Without even trying. He doesn't even line up for the shot. He just flicks with the pool cue.
And he's like, leave your money on the table. And so...
But that also raises the question, like, aren't you, like, training an academy of fighters? The fuck are you doing here?
Yeah, aren't you, like...
Pool?
Yeah,
Is that how you fund your academy?
Maybe. Maybe. You're waging a mystical war against the hand, and you're like, let me pop into the Irish pub for an afternoon and just like hustle some pool junkies.
Is that what they call them?
I don't know. Sure.
Some Q heads.
Maybe like Color of Money was on TV that afternoon, and he's like, that looks like fun, even though I can't see.
Oh boy.
Maybe someone described watching Color of Money to him, and he was like, I could do that. Anyways, whatever. He's got magical blind powers just like Daredevil.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't get chemicals in his eyes.
Yeah, but he shouldn't.
He shouldn't, no. But in the comic books,
does.
yeah. But in the comic books, Stick is the one. At least in the Frank Miller versions, like Stick is the one that teaches Matt Murdock how to like hone his other senses. Like it's not.
Yeah.
In the movies, it was more like the chemicals that got in his eyes like got into his system somehow and made him superhuman. But like in the comics, it was like Stick taught him how to like tap into the superhuman potential that like now that one of his senses is gone, now like, you know, his hearing and his smell have been increased, you know, and like he had to train to like learn all that stuff, right? So maybe Stick is just a guy who like really just buckled down once he was blind and was like, I'm just gonna like go around hitting things until I see sound waves.
I'm sure it was that.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, Elektra, whatever. I don't care about this. And she's like, you're right, I'm leaving too.
I mean, basically, yeah.
It's like a nothing scene. And then she's like, yeah, you're right. It's a good point. I'm going to leave too. And then she leaves, and then she sees a piece of graffiti. Look at them. A piece of graffiti of a hawk. Look at them. And she's like, oh, fuck, we got to get out of here. And then the bird flies away, and there's a guy named Tattoo who's got tattoos of animals that leap out of his body. And that's his power.
Which is like, cool power. Terrible name.
Yeah.
Very poorly animated.
Yeah. Again, $40 million. And from then on, it's basically just like they run and hide a little bit, and then the bad guys find them, and they have a fight, and then they run and hide a little bit more, and then the bad guys find them, and they have a little fight.
And the fights are always bad, just to be clear.
The fights are bad.
Like there's a dude named Stone who gets shot with a shotgun, and all the pebbles just fall off him.
Yeah.
And then like Elektra gets the drop on him and breaks one of her sais trying to stab him in the back.
Yeah.
And then he throws a tree branch at her. She barely dodges it, but it like takes out an entire layer of tree.
Yeah.
Like Pokey style in Super Mario, where you take out one of the things and then the pillar comes down. But then she just like runs along the tree, and he walks under where the tree is falling, and then the tree falls on him, and he turns into dust.
Yeah, that's what kills him. No idea why. Doesn't make any sense.
Can't get shot, can't get stabbed. You drop a tree on him,
But you
though.
drop a tree on him, he's like, he's allergic to cedar. I don't know.
That's what it was.
That's his secret.
That was his secret weakness. Allergic to cedar. You just gotta drop an entire cedar tree on him.
Shouldn't hang out in the Pacific Northwest if you're allergic to cedar.
No.
No.
You can attest it's a bad place to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
For that allergy.
I mean, it's kind of fine. You know,
Well, yeah, okay.
if I like rub up against a tree, not great. But most of the time when I'm walking through the woods, I'm not like going around just like rubbing my hands on.
Well, I
all
gotta
different
say,
trees.
you're missing out.
I guess. Unless it's a birch or a dogwood
Yeah.
or a fir. I'll touch a fir any day.
You could rub all up on that fur.
Mm-hmm. Noble or not, I'll be touching. So let's move on from this.
I don't know. I'm liking this conversation more than talking about Elektra. Let's get naughty with trees.
Getting naughty with trees.
Get it? That's a tree joke.
Oh. Good. Good one.
Up top.
Nice. Yeah. So, you know, she kills a couple of them, and then in that fight, we find out that the little girl Abby is trained in some sort of kung fu with stick.
Yeah.
She's got a chain that glows that she uses to like wrap around a dude's neck and throw him.
Yeah. Was that explained?
No.
Okay, so I didn't miss it. Okay, it's just
I don't think
she
so.
can fight all of a sudden,
Yeah.
and she's
Well,
like, "Sorry, I
think-
didn't tell you."
No, I think she must have been part of Styx Academy or trained with somehow, or like her father was and he trained her, but it's implied that she's the Black Sky.
Yeah, which is
From
like this whole time it was like, "Oh, Elektra is the Black Sky."
Yeah.
And that's why the Hand might want her or whatever. But then also, no, this 13-year-old girl is the Black Sky.
Yeah.
This really annoying 13-year-old girl.
Yeah.
But like, it was not earned at all. It was
No.
like fun twist, but you botched it.
Yeah.
You botched-balled it.
Yeah. So,
The white ball was over here,
yeah.
and you rolled in the neighbor's yard.
Yeah.
That's a bocce ball joke.
You're killing it today, man. The podcast. You're killing the podcast.
Oh, whoops.
It's dead.
I'm so
now.
sorry.
Whoops. Shutting it down, folks. 61 episodes. That's it.
Well, maybe if I get really emotional and cry, I can bring it back to life for no apparent reason.
Oh.
Oh, brought it back.
Ooh, nailed it. In your face, stupid movie. Yeah. Because, like, Elektra gets on her telepathic mind phone that she has
Yeah, apparently.
and calls up the main bad guy. She calls up Liu Kang. I don't know.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, we're going to end this. Winner take all. If I win, you can kill the girl or whatever. But if I win, she goes free. If you win, you can kill the girl or whatever. It won't matter to me because I'll be dead anyways. So
Pretty sure that was the dialogue, yeah.
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 And he's like, great. She's like, we'll meet where it all began. And he's like, it's also where it will end. It's like, fucking yeah, dude. That's what is implied
Yeah.
by the, like, did she this is the final showdown.
Yep.
Like, this was you and me for all the marbles kind of deal, right? Like,
And also, it will be over.
yeah. So,
So she goes to her old mansion.
yeah.
So yeah, she was definitely rich. But
Yeah.
like there's white linen covering everything
Yeah.
so that it doesn't get dusty.
Drop cloths.
Drop cloths, that's what they're called. Thank you.
I know what rich people do.
And then he's there, and then all of the drop cloths fly around forever somehow.
Yeah. And they're real bad CGI.
Real bad.
Just flapping around.
And he like
Hitting her in the face and stuff, and she's got to like cut through them. And,
yeah, and so like she's fighting the drop cloths and not the bad guy
Yeah.
for basically that whole fight.
More or less, yeah. They do clash blades a few times in there, but not a lot.
And then also he's like, remember.
Yeah, so, he's like, now you remember. And then
she remembers.
she remembers that he's the one that killed her mom.
Yeah, that demon killing her mom is suddenly replaced with this dude.
Yeah.
That killed her mom.
It goes from like the demon to like a ninja all in black to this guy wearing basically the same outfit that he's been wearing for the whole movie.
Yep.
And she's like, oh, you killed my mom. And
Which
then
also like, has no bearing at all on the plot. Why?
yeah, no.
Because there was no plot to begin with.
Pretty much, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was like foisted in there to like attempt character development.
Swing and a miss.
Big ol' miss.
We call that.
Not even like a big swing either. It's like the bat like slipped out of their hand and they're like, oh shit, oh, and then the baseball hit them in the nose and broke their nose. And they had to
And the umpire was like, strike one.
and he had to leave the game to go get that looked at the nurse, and then someone else had to step up to the plate and bat for them.
Man, that reminds me of gym class.
Yeah.
I remember because there was one time where I got hit in the face with a baseball,
Oh, gee.
and then we weren't even playing the game yet. We were warming up by like passing, right?
Yeah.
We
Playing
had
catch.
gloves or playing catch. Yeah, we just had to partner up. So I partnered up with my friend Evan. who's actually good at sports.
Yeah.
And so, I'd throw it, and then he'd go and he'd get it and he'd pick it up. And then he'd throw it immediately, directly into my glove, right to me.
Yeah.
But then, I throw it to him and he gets it. And then the teacher's like, okay, eyes on me, everyone. And we all turn and look at her. And she starts explaining how we're going to break up into teams. Little did I know, Evan had already returned the ball, and it was in midair. And I was just looking at the teacher, and then, because he's so good at throwing, it slams into my head. And I look across, and he just, got his glove over his face, and he looks mortified because he just cracked my skull with this baseball. And all I thought was, nice. I don't have to play gym class today.
Yeah.
Because that's how much gym sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, and I got hit in the head, and I was like, oh, I better go see the nurse. And the teacher rightfully was like, yeah, please go see the nurse. Make sure you're okay. And then this other kid, oh, crap, I can't remember his name.
Probably not important.
But he was like, he came over to like, ooh, do you need help walking to the nurse? And I immediately recognized the look in his face of I really don't want to play baseball. And I was like, yes, I would appreciate the help. Let's go. So not only did I not have to play gym, but I got some other kid out of playing gym as well.
Nice. That's good.
And that's how you get out of Elektra.
How
was I talking about this again?
We're talking about how it was a swing and a miss.
Oh, right.
And yeah, similar thing happened to me actually, where we were playing dodgeball in gym.
Oh boy!
And I happened to throw the ball right as the whistle was thrown or it was blown, and I beamed this chick right in the head.
No,
would have been an epic shot if we were still playing the game, but then
But-
I got sent to the principal's office for throwing a ball after the whistle had been blown, even though it was
Immediately
instantaneous.
after? Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Well, but then you got out of dodgeball.
I kind of liked dodgeball.
You
though.
liked dodgeball?
Yeah.
It always struck me as a very brutal game to get a bunch of people who have a lot of pent up emotion to play against each other.
Yeah.
It's like, here you go, changing sexually frustrated child, vent your anger against your classmates.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that.
Oh, I like that.
No, that's bad.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
There's a more healthy way to vent all that frustration and anger.
masturbation.
Whoops.
Is that not where you were going with that?
Well, that's
Oh.
not a period in class.
No.
But
Not if you do it right.
let's take a strange turn.
Stay for the record, I never masturbated in class, just in case anyone tries to cancel me online. It never happened, though I did hear one story about one kid maybe doing it and getting caught, but it was never confirmed.
Seems like it'd be really difficult.
Yeah.
I would imagine that'd be very difficult.
Bloody difficult for me. I got a friggin' sausage down there, just a friggin' big ol' fire hose of a
What are you talking
dick.
about?
I'm trying to make a joke about how big my dick is and how hard it would be to do that, but it's not. My dick's a very normal size.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure most adult males, you've looked up what an average penis size is and compared it to your own.
Yeah.
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 It's a very normal thing to
Yeah.
do.
You bust out the tape measure.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm sitting right in the pocket.
Pun intended?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Cut a hole in my pocket.
Oh, boy.
And then I put
Oh, that's how you get away with it in
Yeah,
class. Oh,
yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta cut a hole in one of your pockets.
Yeah.
So
So,
that's what Elektra was like.
yeah. Watching Elektra is as embarrassing as getting caught masturbating in class. That's what we were coming around to in this. So, at the end of the movie, they were like, what if we just stole the ending of The Shining? And we just had them run through a hedge maze for a bit. And then they do.
And also, why were they in the hedge maze? Don't know.
Doesn't matter. Well, Abby
Oh, that's right. They were
Abby
fighting
walks in and she's like,
yeah.
"Oh my god, Elektra!" And then he's like, "Aha, the one I'm really here to kill." And she's like, "Oh fuck!" And she runs into the hedge maze, and he's like chasing her, but then Elektra like also chases him down, and him and Elektra meet in the middle of the hedge maze, and they have a little fight, and he probably says something that's supposed to be like emotionally damaging to her.
And that's when I got out of gym class.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then he tries to do his super fast teleport kill thing, but she just like steps to the side a little bit and makes him teleport right into her sai.
Which like doesn't make sense.
No, especially if he can see the future, right?
Yeah, like this power
Yeah.
is supposed to be about time, and so like them moving really fast isn't like them moving really fast. It's everything else being slow.
Yeah.
It's what it should be like. And yeah. Also see the future.
Yeah, because she uses it to be like, oh, someone's going to come in and shoot me, so I'm going to do this, like, roll to the side. And then sure enough, someone, like, busts in the door with a repeating crossbow somehow.
Which is cool.
And, like, tries to shoot her, and she's like, whoo, action, cartwheel, somersault. And dodges it, because she sees it happening first.
Yeah.
You know,
so the fact that she just, like, makes this guy run into her sai is just... makes no sense.
No sense. And then she throws him down a well, and he explodes like everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's too late because the Abby's already been caught by the Kiss of Death lady who kisses people and they die. Even though she kissed Elektra and she didn't die.
Well, I think the like stick saved her or something, right?
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know.
Yeah, after the first fight in the forest, Stick shows up with a bunch of ninjas and saves them. And the main bad guy dude is like, another time, old man, another time. And then they fuck off. And then she does the telepathic phone call. And it's like, meet me at my old house and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, Abby's dead. And Elektra throws her sai through like 17 bushes. And it just
sails through that hedge maze.
Yeah, just hits the Kissy Death lady right in the head, and she explodes also, and then Abby's
which
dead.
Was like, by the way, it's already really dumb and unexplained that they explode when they die. It doesn't make any sense. But like that sai flying for so long, which was dumb.
Yeah.
But the fact that like it just slams into her face was like for a fraction of a second really satisfying.
Oh yeah, totally.
But then she turns to dust immediately, and we don't get to see it. And then it was immediately ruined.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I wonder if that's where the PG-13 came in. Like, I wonder if like all the deaths were supposed to be really gory, and then they were like, actually no, you can't do that, so they just have them like explode and into smoke
like a video game or something.
Yeah, well it kind of reminds me of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer when she stakes vampires,
right,
and they turn into dust and you see their skeleton for like 2 seconds. Kind of reminds me of that. But
that was also like in world appropriate.
Yeah,
right. This was just like they turn into clouds of sulfur, I
guess. Yeah, I don't know. Not explained. Not important.
But yeah, so Abby's dead. Whoops.
Yeah, and she's like, oh no, I got to do the magical bringing you back to life thing.
Even though I've never completed my training.
Yep.
And only a master can do.
But you just have to, sometimes you just have to believe in fairies, Matt. Okay? And the harder you believe, the more back to life they will come. So she's Peter Panning it. And she's like, I'm just going to cry a lot, and hopefully this girl will come back to life because I'm really sad about her dying, and I'd like her to not be.
Yeah, and her line was like, I just found you.
Yeah, and if that was the case, then, like, all of the funerals in the world wouldn't need to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Or they'd all have happy endings because everyone would be crying, and then the dude would, like, get out of the coffin and be like, oh, man.
Who dressed me?
Is my asshole sewn shut?
Whoops.
Seriously, they sew your asshole shut when you die. It's fucked.
They do a lot of things to dead bodies when you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be stuffed in one of those pods that turns into a tree.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Probably just gonna go with cremation.
That's a good one too.
But also, like, I'll be dead, so whatever.
Yeah. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, do what's gonna make you happy. You're the one who's still there.
Right?
Yeah. Talking to you specifically.
Oh, me. Okay, cool. So, like, can I mount your skeleton to the front of my ship?
I can't stop you.
It's true, you can't.
Yeah.
Excellent. So,
do you mean like like a boat.
Yeah, a boat, like a pirate
Like
ship.
I'm your mermaid.
Yeah.
But it's just my skeleton.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Please do.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna once you're gone and I have no more podcasts to do,
Right.
I'm gonna take to the high seas and take on a life of piracy because
Nice.
what's the point of continuing on
Oh.
if your podcast buddy is? What am I gonna start a new podcast?
Oh, you can't do that.
No.
It'll be in my will.
Legally, I could stop you from starting another podcast, but I can't stop you from using my skeleton as your pirate ship mermaid.
Yeah.
Let's finish talking about this goddamn movie. We're so close.
Okay.
So she brings Abby back to life, and then the dad's like, hey, thanks so much for bringing my daughter back to life. She's like, hey, don't sweat it. I'm just going to walk off into the sunset now, and some Evanescence is going to play.
Wait, yeah.
Except it's not even that song. I don't even
No,
know if it
it's
was
not.
Evanescence.
It just sounded like a cheap knockoff. But yeah, so she's real upset that Abby's dead for some reason, and then brings her back to life through the power of stuff.
Sadness.
Yeah. And then the dad's like, thanks, and then they kiss. And it wasn't earned at all.
No.
But then also she leaves.
Yeah.
And so like my thing was like, okay, good, she's leaving, because it doesn't make any sense for her to be so connected to this man and his daughter.
Yeah.
Like none. It was not explained, not earned. It was terrible. And so it's great that she left, and it ends with her just leaving. But then
Yeah.
also, none of the movie makes sense if she just leaves. Because what did she want? What was the point?
A family?
Yeah, if she wanted a family, if that's like, if they had tied that into her memory stuff of her just really missing having a family or something,
Yeah.
and then she like gets to decide to stay and have a family, then that would
Here's
be
an
a
idea.
different ending.
Here's an idea. Maybe there's a way they could have paid this off where she's like, he's like, thanks for saving my family. And she's like, yeah, don't sweat it. And then she goes out. So she's like, I gotta leave. I got someone I gotta see. And then you go out in there and Stick is standing there, like in the movie. And he's like, are you ready to come join the fight against the Hand? And she's like, not yet. I've got some unfinished business in New York. And then cut to her pulling up to the, a building in New York and getting out and walking up to the door. And then what does it say on the door? Nelson and Murdoch, attorneys at law.
Yep.
And it's like, ooh, like that could have been a way,
That would have been better.
could have been a way to save it a little bit. Like if
No,
that
it wouldn't have saved it.
It
No.
wouldn't have saved it, but like if that movie had been good and then they did that ending, then that could have set it up for
Daredevil 2.
Daredevil 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, back in the habit. Blind and loving it. So I don't know. Like that seems like the obvious ending to me.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why they didn't do that. Like were spin-offs not allowed to? This was also like kind of like the first one of its kind, really.
Was it?
Yeah. Like I think this was even like before X-Men Origins, Wolverine.
Well, what? Definitely before that, yeah.
Yeah. So like I think it was first, or it was kind of the first of its kind. Like they didn't really have spin-offs that, like, not the way that they do now, right? Like now it's like, okay, every Marvel movie takes place in the same universe and you can expect any character from any Marvel movie to show up in another one, in another character's movie, and it's fair game, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like back then it was like, no, Daredevil characters are in the Daredevil movies and the X-Men characters in the X-Men movies, even though Fox owned both of them.
Yep.
And Fantastic Four, and like could have crossed them over.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't, for whatever reason. But this was the first one where it's like, okay, we're going to do Daredevil, and then there's Elektra, and then it's like, if they did Daredevil 2, I would assume Elektra would be in it.
Probably.
Maybe. Like, what's the point of doing a solo movie that brings her back to life if you're not going to put her in the sequel?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Too bad it was a garbage movie.
Yeah. Yeah, and it killed that. But, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know why they didn't even attempt it. Like, they didn't even attempt to set up the Daredevil sequel with that movie.
Yeah.
Because it only came out like a year later. Like they rushed this one out.
Yeah, it was not tied to it at all. Like there was no reference at all to the Daredevil movie. No shot of Ben Affleck looking sad.
2 seconds of like her in the ambulance after just having been stabbed by Bullseye.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
That's it.
That's the only reference is like you see her in the outfit that she was wearing when she died in Daredevil, and they're trying to use a defibrillator on her, even though like she's still wearing her leather vest, and like the defibrillator is like definitely on the leather vest.
Yeah.
It's like that's nope. You're gonna cut that off as soon as you get into the ambulance. Whatever. Let's rate this fucker.
This is one big pile of shit.
It's one big pile of shit.
That is one big pile of shit.
Do you want to even think about what the Rotten Tomatoes was?
I don't even want it to cross my mind.
It was 11%.
11. That's very low.
It's very low.
That is among the lowest that we've seen. We've had an 8.
We've had an 8, and we've had not enough reviews.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we have
on a couple of them.
But yeah, that's very low and deservedly so.
It was absolute trash.
Yeah.
Absolute steaming pile of trash, and I hated it, and I hated that I decided we should still watch it.
It's 100% your fault.
Even though I tried, it really is, okay? Even though I tried to give us an out.
Well, here we are. But we did it. It's done.
But like, would I have rather have watched Catwoman? Like, probably not.
Yeah.
Well, Matt.
Aaron.
You still want to do the podcast, or is this...
No, I'm thinking this was the final episode.
Oh,
I think
God.
you killed it. You killed it. And you can't make any more.
Like, we've watched some trash in our day.
Oh, absolutely.
We watched Elves.
No.
And I might rather watch Elves again than watch Elektra again.
Like, when we watched Elves, we crowned it the new worst movie that we had seen.
Yeah.
I 100% disagree. I never want to see Elves again. I would rather we watch this right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Elves was terrible. Elves was so much worse. This was boring and dumb. Elves was like disgustingly bad.
Yeah, but I think I laughed more in Elves.
There were more fleeting glimpses of joy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was certainly dumber.
Like the kid talking about peeping his sister's tits. Like, that was funny, and my jaw hit the floor because I couldn't believe that was a line that was in a movie
That was
made by
so
humans.
Fucking weird.
I don't know, man. Look, in a perfect world, I'll never watch either of them again. But, like, I might go home and set this DVD on fire.
We'll film it and
I absolutely despise it. I'll just, yeah. Oh, it was rough.
we did
I
it.
should film it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah. Check out our Instagram and Twitter for a video of me burning the DVD copy of Elektra.
But also, like, film it and then set it to Evanescence.
How can you see into my eyes like open doors?
Yes.
Better stop before we get demonetized on YouTube because they think that that's the actual Evanescence.
Because you're so convincing.
My Amy Lee impression is on point.
Oh.
Yeah. I hated this so much. But you know what? Upwards and onwards.
It's all uphill from here.
We continue forward with our quest for the best bad movie on the planet Earth. And we're about to dive into a little mini-series.
Ooh, miniseries time?
Starting next month. So we're going to be doing a 4-movie mini-series with a break in the middle. Because in June, the Buzz Lightyear movie comes out, the new one.
Oh.
And so I really want to watch Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, the animated movie,
Jeez.
the Disney one.
Okay.
And it's only 70 minutes, so
I love it.
yeah, love that for us. But we're gonna be going into a little mini series that I call a canon clusterfuck, canon calamity. I don't know, something. We're gonna watch some canon films from Canon Productions, which I don't know.
Cannon fodder.
Cannon fodder. That's good. That's fucking good. I don't know if we've done a canon movie.
Oh, we must have.
I feel like we must have.
We've seen like 60 bad movies now.
They've made so much trash. Let me just I'm just gonna go and look through our old episodes and see if there is one, because I feel like there must have been one at some point. But you know, who knows? They are famous for making terrible movies in the 80s. These guys from Israel that came over and just hustled their way into making just some absolute trash. We've done a lot of Roger Corman movies. We haven't done... There's no way we haven't done a canon movie yet. Oh, you know what? Captain America might have been a canon
Okay.
movie. But for those of you who don't know what Canon Films is, it was it's a company that started in the 80s, and they made movies like Delta Force, and
oh gosh, yeah.
they made like so many sequels to frickin' what's that?
Chucky.
No.
Gremlins.
Yes. They made so many sequels to Gremlins. No. They would have... No. Don't. We haven't done a canon film. Captain America wasn't it? Yeah.
Weird.
Death Wish. They did so many sequels to Death Wish. Basically anything in the 80s that starred Chuck Norris or Chuck Bronson.
Who were just chucking out movies left and right.
American Ninja.
Oh,
they
boy.
did like 1 billion ninja films. Ninja 3: The Domination, famously a movie that mixes aerobics and possession movies with a ninja film.
Wow.
It's a classic. So we'll be kicking it off next month with Missing in Action.
Okay.
Then we're gonna watch a movie in May called Runaway Train.
All right.
Which stars John Voight and someone else who I can't remember, but is famously like maybe the only well-reviewed movie that they've ever done.
Oh, okay.
And I've always wanted to see it. I've never seen it, so I'm just using
that's
this
fun.
as an excuse to watch it.
Perfect.
Then we're going to take a break and watch Buzz Lightyear. Then in July, we're going to watch The Apple,
Okay.
which is a rock musical that tells the Garden of Eden story,
Okay.
I believe. It's one of the worst musicals ever made.
Okay.
And then we're going to cap it all off with America 3000.
Ooh, boy.
Which is something to do with women are the dominant gender on the planet. All the men have been enslaved by a race of warrior women or something like that. I don't know.
Cool.
Seems fun. And that's our cannon fodder miniseries. So get ready for that.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, we're making our Chuck Norris debut with Missing in Action.
That's right. Yeah. Haven't done any of those.
And if you're up for it, I think I may have talked to you about this, but we're going to do, I would really like to do a bonus episode where we talk about the Electric Boogaloo documentary.
Oh, you did mention that.
Which is basically like a documentary that like covers the history of canon films. And so I think we should watch that.
Yeah.
And
have that as a bonus for
have
this
that as
miniseries.
A bonus. We could do like a bonus talk about that for Patreon, but then also it's just good to have that knowledge in our heads as we're watching these movies to kind of understand the environment in which they were created. So I figure, we've done this podcast for almost 6 years. It's about time we watch some canon movies.
Jeez, it's been that long?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Fuck yeah.
Cool. Let's do it.
Yeah. Well, 5 years. I guess it's been 5 years.
This is the 6th year.
This is the 6th year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because 60 episodes, 12 months.
Oh no, this is the 5th year.
This is the 5th year.
Yeah, or we've done 5 years.
We've done 5 years.
So this is the 6th.
12 months for 5 years equals 60 episodes.
Math.
Yeah. See, you'll learn shit when you listen to us, kids. So that's what's coming up. Never watch Elektra. It's bad. You'll be much happier for it, and just live your life better.
Yeah, that's what we've learned from today. Make better choices for you.
Yeah.
You'll know what they are in your gut.
Yeah.
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 Sometimes you want to do something because you think it'll make you feel better, but in your heart, you know it won't.
You know it won't.
Like you could finish off the rest of that pie because you think you want pie, but in your heart, you know that you won't enjoy it as much.
Yeah. It's been in the fridge too long.
Yeah.
Should have eaten it like 3 days ago.
Yeah, and it's okay. It's okay to let things go. Like old pie.
Like old pie.
Like old
Elektra
pie.
is the old pie of films.
Just let it go.
Just throw it in the compost.
Yeah.
Let it mold.
Return it to the earth.
Yeah.
Let Elektra die.
She should have stayed dead.
Yeah, Stick just brought her back and then kicked her out of his school.
This really was a career killer, though, eh?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Like, Rob Bowman has basically just been directing TV ever since. I mean, he did TV before, but it looked like he was starting to get into feature films, you know? No. And Jennifer Garner, also yikes.
Yeah.
So, it's rough. It's too bad. She's good. She's due for a comeback, I think, though. She's good.
Yeah.
She's a decent actress. Just, maybe don't bring her back as Elektra.
Yeah.
Maybe let that one die.
Let Elektra die.
So, yeah. This has been the Retro Craptacular for the month of March. Happy International Women's Day.
Yay. But actually, that's, yeah.
But actually,
yeah.
yeah. Sorry that this is what we had to talk about, ladies. Next year, maybe we won't.
Next year we'll think ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, we won't. We'll try to celebrate women next month. Not that we don't celebrate women, just this movie doesn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
We will talk about something that celebrates women. We'll talk about a movie that celebrates women better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas in our daily lives, we will continue to celebrate women every day.
Yeah. Every day. Every day is International Women's Day in my heart.
When you say it like that, and it sounds like some bullshit, but but the sentiment is on point.
Yeah. I don't need a calendar day to tell me to celebrate women. I just do it.
But now
the time.
Now you sound like the guy who doesn't want to do something for Valentine's Day.
I don't. It's a bullshit holiday made up by the
Okay.
Hallmark Corporation, Matt. You know what? I'm gonna bring you ladies. I'm gonna bring you flowers on May 19th, and some chocolates. And I'm gonna tell you, here, happy May 19th. Continue to be excellent.
I hope you're gonna do it that aggressively. Here, happy May 19th.
Yeah,
Chocolates, flowers, deal with it.
yeah. Just keep on existing. I don't need no greeting card corporation to tell me to love you any more or any less. What if there was a day that you were supposed to love people less? That'd be fucked. Like the anti-Valentine's Day?
The day you're supposed to love people less.
Like today?
Boxing Day.
It's Boxing Day, everybody. Yeah.
Or no, Black Friday.
Yeah.
If you're American, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the day where you kill your neighbor in order to get a little bit of money off of a new dishwasher.
Yeah. You fight a bitch for a TV.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll just end the show, I reckon.
Yes, I think we're due.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. Thanks for listening.
Like, I'm looking up, I can see where we started, but we've dug ourselves now down so far that the light doesn't make it all the way to our
Ladies, gentlemen, people who don't define themselves by either of those genders, thank you so much for listening to the show. We love each and every one of you.
Absolutely.
Every day of the year, individually and together.
Here's some chocolates. Here's some flowers.
Some chocolates. Here's some flowers.
Keep existing.
Yeah.
Or else.
If you liked this, if this was good,
if this was good for
this
you.
was good for you. We have a Patreon. It's really cheap. It's not bad. linktr.ee/retrocrappod has all the links. You can just go there. Thanks for listening to the show. Until next time, keep watching crap. Oh no. The show's over.